What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Weekly Roar. So today we're going to talk about practice. Practice. Yeah, we're talking about practice. Not a game, but practice. Good news is, if you're a basketball fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you don't, you're probably lost and wondering why I'm acting so weird. But tell you a little story. So first off, this is enlightening. So question for you, what do professionals have in common? I'm a big sports fan, so I love using basketball, football analogies, and this is perfect. So I'm just going to kick it off. If anybody doesn't know, there's a Hall of Fame basketball player by the name of Allen Iverson that made a real big deal several years ago because his coach suspended him for not showing up to practice. Now, again, he's a Hall of Fame basketball player. Some consider him pound for pound one of the best basketball players to ever live. He was a little short guy, under 6 foot, that really did the most with his abilities and could just really score. Again, for those of you who don't know. But his mental attitude wasn't there. And so I'm going to tell you two stories of two differences, two famous ball players. So Allen Iverson, true, he made it to the Hall of Fame, but just that unloading at this press conference of just reiterating that he didn't have any value in practicing. To him, it was what he did in the game, what happened in the game. And it just so happened that Allen Iverson was such a talented individual, and don't get me wrong, he probably put his practice in, he just didn't see the value of it. But he was so talented that he was a Hall of Fame player just by simply his talents alone. Now, on the flip end, we've got Michael Jordan that, let's be real, this is the greatest basketball player that has ever lived. And we can debate it, and I'm sure we can talk about LeBron James and Kobe Bryant, and Kobe Bryant and LeBron James were both along the same mold of Michael Jordan. But there's a video out there in an interview that Michael Jordan did with Ahmad Rashad, and he was talking about practice as well. And what had happened was Michael Jordan, when he won his 6th NBA championship, he was coming down, final seconds of the game, dribbling the ball down the court, brought it down, and he had his defender, Byron Russell, in front of him, and he went one way and then switched over, and just the way Michael Jordan just automatically did it, swept it over, Byron Russell fell on the ground, Michael Jordan hit the game-winning shot and won his 6th NBA championship before retiring for the second time. So he wins this championship, and Ahmad Rashad asks him, what were you thinking in this moment? When you switched over to the side, what were you thinking? And Michael Jordan's response was simple. I wasn't thinking. The fact of the matter is, if I was thinking, I would have dribbled the ball off my foot. Or I would have tried to go to the hole and not switched it up on him, and I would have had my shot blocked. Because every day he practiced, that's that word again, he practiced hard every day like he was winning the championship. He goes on and tells a story about his rookie year in lining up, and they would have scrimmage competitions, team 1 against team 2, and the losing team would have to run wind sprints. Well, Michael Jordan's coach that year, Michael Jordan being so competitive, being the competitive spirit that he was, he would get his team up by 10, 15 points, and the coach would call a timeout and then put Michael Jordan on the team that was losing. And instead of getting upset about it like so many of us would, thinking it's unfair and he's picking on us, and why is he doing this to us? Michael Jordan saw it for what it was and understood that the coach was trying to teach him a lesson, and being the competitive guy that he was, he said, I'll show you, and he ended up bringing his team back and winning the game. And he said that early on, that instilled to him that every day he played like he was playing for the championship. So when it came down to the final seconds of the game to win his 6th NBA championship, it wasn't a matter of thinking about what he was doing. In fact, they've addressed fear and talking about fear, and were you ever nervous? Did you ever have fear when you were on the court? And Michael Jordan simply said, I didn't have fear because I have confidence in my abilities, because every day, like I said, I practice like I'm winning the championship. I'm just as intense, if not more so intense in my practice than I am even in the game. So when I show up on the court, there's no self-doubt. I have the confidence because I know what my body can do. I know what I'm capable of doing. So he steps out on the court, and again, he wins the 6 NBA championships. On the reverse side, Allen Iverson, though he's one of the greatest players to play, did not win any championships. And we can even go a little bit further and look at life after basketball. Michael Jordan is a multi-millionaire, a great businessman, where Allen Iverson lost all of his millions of dollars with not having that discipline. So it's all a mindset. And you can erase your fears and gain more confidence by just practicing. So that leads me, you might be asking, what does this have to do with sales? Well, here it is. How long does it take to become a doctor? 12 years of medical school, interning. It takes a long time. How long does it take to be a lawyer? 6, 7 years? What do all professionals have in common? Athletes, lawyers, doctors, you name it. Someone that's a professional at what they do. They all practice. Practicing law, practicing medicine. They're not just saying that. These people are constantly going back and getting a different education. When lawyers are going into court, they literally role play and they will go through what they're going to say and rehearse what they're going to do. They'll have live situations so they can get better at what they're doing. How long does it take to become a salesperson? When you enter the door and somebody gives you a name tag and some business cards is typically it. Yeah, you get a little bit of training, but the fact of the matter is you become a salesperson through the practice and through every day taking action. But how many of us do it? So many salespeople are afraid to do the role playing, are afraid to practice what they're supposed to be doing in order to get better at what they're doing. So many salespeople don't read or listen to CDs, tapes, and I'll be dating myself there, videos, getting online and watching YouTube. There's so many sources for free that you can get your mind right and improve on the skills it takes to become a great salesperson. A great salesperson that takes care of their customers and adds a tremendous amount of value. All the information is there. A crazy stat that is taken out of all the poor salespeople. They spent approximately about 2% of their time on practicing, personally developing and honing in on their product knowledge, where somebody that is a successful salesperson is putting more than 15 to 20% of their time on that. Again, and practice is important. How are you ever going to get better if you don't put that practice time in? So what I'm saying to everybody here, if you want to get good at sales, if you want to get good at leadership, if you want to get good at anything in life, you got to put that discipline on it. Could you imagine going to a doctor that didn't have any kind of practice in? You'd be putting your life in his hands, literally. And that's exactly what we do as salespeople. We don't take it serious. We think that we're just in sales, and you know what? We don't take that seriously, but we can earn the income of a doctor and a lawyer without even a college degree. But you got to put your time in. So that is it today. Have an amazing weekend. Have an amazing week. And just go out there and practice. Get better at